Hi, this is Chris Haydel, your financial advisor, and I thought it would be helpful for me to give you an update on the markets and provide a useful antidote to a lot of the mainstream news and the noise that many of our clients are hearing. It's true that the S&P 500 index, the most watched stock market index, has recently hit a new high. It's also true, though, that the first quarter GDP has been revised now to a contraction. Yes, a recessionary mode. It's now coming in at -1% on the next revision. If you take out the effects of the Affordable Care Act, the economy actually contracted by almost 2% in the first quarter. It will all be blamed on the weather, to be sure, but there are some deeper tendencies that we saw last year which are now coming to fruition. And while the stock market is touted as reaching new highs, most don't realize that those new highs are still quite anemic. I guess it's not terrible for the S&P 500 index as of yesterday's close, the 28th of May. The index had gained 4.5% for the year, including dividends. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is also regarded as a highly watched index and barometer of the stock market, is up a mere 0.45% for the year. Though again, that is a new high, and you'll see champagne corks popped on CNBC. What's missing, I think, in this narrative is the fact that many of the investments we held last year, through thick and thin, have really recovered beautifully. Bonds have been on a relentless rally. We sent out an email earlier in the year which showed that 67 of 67 economists at the beginning of the year predicted that bonds would be in a bear market this year and that interest rates would rise. Well, 67 out of 67 economists are wrong. The market for bonds has relentlessly risen. Interest rates have been relentlessly falling. Bonds, treasury bonds, long-dated bonds, are up over 16% so far this year, smashing the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, though you won't hear champagne corks popping on CNBC to herald that news. Also, zero-coupon bonds, strips, which we also own in many of your portfolios, are up over 24% so far this year. Very strong performance. Still, it's an antidote to last year, and we're climbing back from last year's mild losses. Gold, which we also hold in many of our client portfolios, has performed admirably this year as well. Gold is up 4.5%, still beating the S&P 500 index and handily outpacing the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Again, you won't hear much about it on the mainstream news, except usually cast in a negative light. Gold has historically been money, and we believe it to be such. As that holds, we'll keep a piece of that in our client portfolios as a hedge against the uncertainty we see coming. The last time we saw the stock market averages continue higher in the face of a contracting economy, that was quickly followed by a sell-off in stocks. Now, I don't pretend to know the future, but I do think that this is a very risky time for investors and one in which we'd have to tread very carefully. I'd also like to remind our investors that we are in a very nice defensive position, which is working beautifully so far this year. In spite of all the noise, please know that this is true. It will be reflected in your statements. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to direct them to me, Chris Haydel, at hbawealth.com, or to my team, Ricky Beal, Maria Gallegos, Ches Brathwaite. We're all here to serve you, and we really appreciate your business. We'd also welcome your feedback on any ways we can improve our communication to you. Thanks for listening.